Hello, everybody. This is Love from Above with your Sibling Spirit Guides. I'm Maureen, and this is my brother.
Hey Maureen, hey everyone.
We're so happy to be here. On this podcast, we share channelings we receive from star beings, ascended masters, mythical beings who really exist, and occasionally our ancestors. And today's topic is awakening to your true potential and seizing opportunities. Brother, what is my true potential? Please tell me.
Well, before we even get into that, talking about our true potential and seizing opportunities, um, this is episode 27, and our good friend Terry Hoffman, who's a loyal listener too, was just telling me she heard in another podcast that the average podcast only lasts 22 episodes. So what do you think of that?
I'm giving us a round of applause. And yeah, so I'm giving and thanks to those above and below and beyond to continually provide all of this fresh new material. We got some new information in the past 2 days, which has been quite a doozy. We'll have to cover maybe on our next episode.
Yeah.
um, from the Fae, also known as the fairies. So, but yeah, this is important information. You want to kick us off, brother?
Right. So this one just came very recently, just August 16th, just last week. Awakening to True Potential and Freedom. And they go on to say, we welcome you into our circle. We entrust these words to Maureen and Brian for dissemination among your kind. So that's what we're doing here. The time arrives now for humans to awaken from their slumbers. There's been much to disrupt the astral planes where humans frequently like to reside. So a few more things I'll let you talk, but these shakeups are incumbent upon us to stir you out of slumber, your hovels. And by the way, I looked up hovel. I know, I'm like, what is a hovel? It's like a slum house. It's not a very nice house. So they're like, wake wake us out of our hovel so you may enjoy the greater glories of the one. There's nothing to fear but the horrible thoughts that reside in your mind. So true on that. That's my comments. The dark days when overlords' reign has come to a glorious end, crashing down their vehicles they use to control the populace. We encourage you to turn off all devices that plug into the news. The news is more harmful than you realize. So we've covered that, but it's amazing message and um things we've covered, but I love their terminology and their you know everything's so good. I love it.
Well, and we know about the news. I stopped watching the news about 20 years ago, but it is interesting about the overlords. And I wonder, brother, if this is a recent occurrence because the two communications we got in the past 2 days from the Fae referred to the dark ones as have light, the dark ones have left Earth. So I don't know. It is interesting, especially when you get kind of the same messages from different types of beings, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've got a few messages like that. So um yeah, the light has won this battle, and this the dark are leaving. So I'm
No, they've left. They're
they've
gone.
left. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
They're gone. Yeah, and the visualization that I got when I was channeling that was like an animal like crouched back was open. Like it's okay. Like we can wake him from our slumber. We can leave our hovels. We can go outside. Like, it's safe. So, and we get that message all the time. I think that's a message I channeled this morning that, they watch over us like, that parents would watch over a newborn babe. That's how cared for we are.
Right. Yep.
So I'll
So
continue.
go ahead.
They go on to say that energetic codes are placed within the vibrations that attach to the cellular structure of one who is watching unknowingly to their personage. And then they go on to a new subject matter. We are beings who are new to utilizing this vehicle. We do not often communicate with your kind. So they go on to say that you have a new unique knack in allowing others to come forth. We have decided to seize this rare opportunity. So isn't that interesting? They don't often communicate to human beings. So I guess we're lucky to get this message.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we always talk about. You're like the phone booth to the universe. So we just, and it is very unique. I don't like I've mentioned this before, but most people, if they channel the same entity pretty much. That's it. But you have a unique, like they said, knack in allowing all these different beings to come forth. So you should feel very special that you've got that capability. So I love it though.
And I really thank Aura, the first beings who came through and communicated with us exclusively for like 2.5 months. And they said that they were surprised when they left that other beings were coming forth. But I view it like they created like this bridge, bridge for me to receive these messages. And then they left and other people are like, heck, we're gonna use this channel to send messages. And of course, you and I are happy to receive all of these messages from all of these beings. Like it really makes you realize like how small we are in the whole scope of the universe. Like there are so many different types of beings who are here to assist us, beings who live in the water, who live beneath the earth, who are in the sky, who are on other planets, ascended masters. Like it's almost ludicrous.
Yeah, it is. It's it's hard to comprehend, really. It is. But so then they say, we come forth to do what we must do and retreat to our lands. In this way, we encourage you to listen and follow forth with our instructions. This is a new day, a new dawn has seized this planet. Yet many of humankind retreat into their hovels, not realizing that they are free. The blinders which kept you locked into a horrible prison, or wait, oh, so was it prism or prison? I'm prison, I think, but I'm not
Wasn't
sure.
sure.
Yeah, it says the gates have been unlocked. So it's time for you to unleash yourself to the glorious extent of your magnificent beings. And then this is when I wasn't exactly sure. They gave you an exercise to clear the mind, and then you can talk about sort of what happened next.
Yeah, so they go on to say, we ask you to visualize yourselves as surrounded by the loving beings who attend to you always. So what I saw, what I visualized is just like imagine your body and you're laying in bed and just all of these beings of light like surrounding you, like in an ocular shape around you. To see your safe self nurtured, cradled, held, loved, to feel the sensations of comfort, whatever is particular to your being. So, if you like to bathe in hot water, if you like to be hugged, or if you like whatever it is, the sensation of how you like to receive love, to imagine that as you're being surrounded by these beings. And if you were to go about your day sitting in your favorite chair, eating your favorite foods, being with those that you loved, this is the truth of your reality. So they want you to kind of visualize your perfect day with the sensations, because they go on to say the reality is not with the senses. It's tuning into this reality, which is kind of multidimensional. It's in another dimension. And then they go on to say the first step is stilling the mind and then allowing love to enter the heart in the fullest expression. So, yeah, what do you think about?
Yeah, and then they said we expect great things from you, Maureen. Go out and seize the day. So it's very. It sounds like a motivational thing, but it is amazing. Um, how does that differ from, does that differ from what we have been doing? Because it doesn't sound sort of like the Merkaba and the Unity breath and sort of, it seems like we're sort of doing that already. I wanted to get your take on that.
I feel like it's different because I don't normally visualize these beings surrounding me with light. Now I know that they're there. I'm fortunate that I can see them when I'm in a darkened room because they glow with like a heavenly light. But but to really see them and to feel them. And I think for me, like I've been seeing them now. I started to see them in I think 2014. So it's been 10 years. So it's kind of become routine for me. I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, look who's here tonight." But like really that's miraculous. Like I have to celebrate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is miraculous.
All right. So our next topic came the next night, and it was around seizing opportunities and understanding energetic sensory nodes. And so it says, we are present. We come forth to continue our discussion of the recent opportunities as the dark ones who controlled much of the planet have vanished. So that's what we were just talking about. Great news. We know we see you. We know you. We see you. We acknowledge the work that you and your brother diligently move forth with tidings from those who reside outside the realms of what is seen. We caution those who stay in one place, who live as they have always done. Uh, Now is opportunity to leap for joy and seize the moment. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I'm always plunged into new worlds with my travel, and so that's not a problem for me. I was just telling Brian, I'm in Japan now, and just trying to figure out the train system is new, and what I'm eating is new. I had seaweed for breakfast, so yeah, I'm all about, seizing new opportunities and expecting joy in everything that I do.
Yeah, and I'm the same. Definitely try and, always embrace change. And I have some things going on in my life around that involve a lot of change as well. So, you know, um, I think it's good. And I think it's, not getting comfortable and getting in a rut and doing the same thing your whole life and really challenging yourself to try new things and do different things. So, I think we're all about that. So, do you want to continue with what they had to say next?
What have you always wanted to do? Is it to embrace another, to climb a mountain, to tour a valley, to write a book? Now is the moment to move ahead in the direction of your desired dreams. Too often, human folk wake up, brush their teeth, go to work, come home, eat dinner, and go to bed. Break free of these routines and see the greater glory of your purpose. So, yeah, break free of these routines. But I will tell you, there's comfort in a routine. Like, routines provide a lot of comfort. And, again, I'll say with being in Japan, like, I feel a little bit like, with the Japanese train system and stuff like that, trying to figure that out. But, I think of our mother who always said no one ever was irretrievably lost while traveling. But I do think it's good for your brain to be constantly plunged into the new.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, especially when it's a totally different language. It looks nothing like ours. And so, yeah, that makes it even more challenging. Um, so they go on to commence with a secondary topic, uh, and that is the illustrious path of the golden ones who radiate their illustrious light as wayfarers along the highways of life. These are beings who come forth with each mated pair. So each person comes through the birth canal has a higher and lower self attached to their physical sensations. These have been depicted as the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. The sense that you are contained as one unit is a lie. So, what are your thoughts on that? That's the first time I think I've heard that exact depiction of that. What do you think of it?
I was just going to say the same thing. Like Brian and I read so many books on spiritual topics, and I have never read anything about that. But I will tell you, as you have indeed said, like all of the stuff that we think is mythology turns out to be true. There really are fairies, there really are giants. And so why wouldn't it make sense that this sense that there's an angel on one shoulder and there's a devil on another, that you're, there's multiple levels of your being. So it's really, really interesting, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, I just finished a book. So you, I think, told me about Neil Gaiman is one of your favorite
Yes, I
authors.
love him.
So there's one, yeah, I don't think you've read, but it's him and Terry Pritchard. It's also a series on Amazon. It's called Good Omens, but it's exactly about this. There's a angel and like a devil creature and that are the main characters in this sort of complex story. But yeah, so like you to your point, we see this in movies all the time, and what you find out is there's a lot of truth for what you see in Hollywood. A lot of times, myths and even stuff in movies has some element of truth to it. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, and supposedly my friend Sahara told me that is purposely done. So if you said to somebody like, "Oh, say like the Ark of the Covenant from the Indiana Jones movies, like all of that stuff is really real." And so then if you would talk about it, people are like, "Oh, that's from the movie Indiana Jones. That's not really real, but it is really real." There's so much truth in those Hollywood movies. It's really astounding.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so they go on to say, contemplate this. Your physical senses are much more limited than the energetic sensory nodes that surround your physical frame. For most people, they no longer pay attention to these sensory nodes. They are easily switched on, and in this way, the greater light can engulf the human frame. So isn't that interesting? Most people are focused on their senses and have the real sensory nodes to like the multidimensional realms switched off.
Yeah. I could see that. I can see that most people are just focused on, you know, their emotions, their senses, but not the energetic. But I'm probably the same way, so I don't know. I know there's a lot more to it, but it's hard to tune into it for me at least.
Yeah, and they go on to give an analogy because they were like, we can see you don't understand this. So they went on to say, if you were to see the sun, you look upon its radiant glow. It looks like a glowing ball, but you know this is not true. Multiple energetic forces come together to ignite this being. The sun is not one being, it is an accumulation of energetic forces. Yet each individual ray can reach out and touch a human life. So it's the same way. It's that multidimensionality. It's like if one ray of the sun thought that it was the whole entire sun, that's like us thinking that we're just one contained being, one more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love their messages, so I know it seems like, it's such an exciting time to be on this earth, don't you agree?
Yeah, and apparently all of us, signed up to be here at this really exciting time at a pivoting point in the Earth's trajectory. So I guess we can only be grateful to be here.
Very true. So, in closing, I'm reading this book, and it's a channeled book, just like ours that's soon going to be released. This is a multiple volume channel book, so I thought it was interesting to read this, but it's called Ascension: The Shift to the Fifth Dimension. Um, and this is volume one I'm reading, and it's actually this guy Daniel Scranton is channeling the Arcturian Council, which is a 16th dimensional being, which is way up there. But anyway, so in the beginning of the book, they had this great paragraph that I just want to read. So the wisdom and high frequencies contained in this book will reawaken and reignite with you your passion and purpose for being on this planet. You'll remember that you are not alone on the journey and that you're greatly supported by powerful unseen forces. You'll begin to understand and embody your role as a magical co-creator and manifester in your life right now. Each word and message is infused with divine love and light and will transform you on multidimensional levels: energetic, cellular, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So that I thought summed things up pretty well. Um,
Well, brother, I got to read this book, man. Wow, isn't that interesting? And the same is series. Like, even if you read the words, like just having the book in your
so
presence is
wait,
supposed to.
the sentence when you said the same is true, start from that there.
Okay. The same is true from the I Am series. Like, even if you don't read the words from those books, just having them in your presence, having them in your house is supposed to elevate your consciousness.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, brother. This is a great one. And thank you for everybody for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye, everyone.